Hey guys, welcome to episode 16 of Step Back 3 Sports Podcast. And yes, we're not sponsored by James Harden. So, this is me, DJ Joe.
This is Henry.
Scotty.
Mic drop.
And today we got a lot of things to talk about. And the first discussion we'll be talking is the NBA most valuable player comparison. As you guys all know, there's only two players right now. Is Giannis Antetokoumpo, known as the Greek Freak.
Did you actually pronounce that right?
Yeah, Antetokoumpo.
Hats off to you. I'm not even going to try. I'm not even going to try.
Antetoukoumpo.
And then we'll compare him against James Harden.
The beard.
Yeah, the beard.
Respect the beard.
So, Hank, you want to start with your comparison?
With my comparison. Well, Giannis versus Harden. Who do you think?
Giannis versus Harden.
Who do you think is the best MVP candidate?
Well, right now, like after tonight, I would go with Harden. Why? Because he has like the most amount of points and he shoots way more 3 points than Giannis. I mean, I've seen Giannis play and he's very aggressive. Once he has the ball, forget it. I mean, he's going to score. Like, you can put how many people against this guy's defense, but he's going to score. He's going to dunk that. He's going to dunk that ball. But I'm going to put my money on James because, like, he scores a lot. Okay, and you need a player like that. Somebody who scores a lot of 3 points, especially when you're, like, in a tight situation. Like, you need people be like, okay, where's James Harden? We need James right now. You know what I mean?
What about you, Joseph?
Well, I'll save mine for last.
Okay, you'll see.
I think it's Giannis because this guy he's an all-around player. Like Harden can only like shoot. He does some layups, but he mostly shoots threes.
Yeah.
And I really personally don't like James Harden. I really don't. I just hate him and his team, the Rockets. I don't like the team anyways, and him. So I'm putting money on Giannis because he's an all-around player. He can shoot threes.
He's muscles.
He's a Greek freak. He can just post strike. You know, like no one can stop him. He's just a boss. Even in the All-Star game, this guy's.
I think he trying. He scores.
He scored so many points, but still LeBron was like the beast. So he came back to win it. But Giannis was on fire. So
And
I'm thinking Giannis for MVP, man.
And Giannis just likes to get in there and dunk it. He doesn't want to. I feel like he doesn't want to like shoot threes.
No, man. Harden just shoots step back threes. That's it, bro.
Step back.
That's all he does.
Well, that's the guy, man.
We don't need threes. Majority of the game, you have to posterize. You gotta
need threes.
Step back to mid-range. You
need to score the most.
Create opportunities. That's what Giannis does. You know, he creates opportunities.
What about you, Scott?
Alright, so you guys are just like talking about random stuff you can see. When you look at the stats, Harden has more points at 36.1 a game. Giannis only has 27.5.
Yeah.
Harden 6.5 rebounds. Giannis 12.7.
Yeah, Giannis has
assists. Harden 7.7. Giannis 6.0. But Giannis is a more efficient, like field shooter at 58% to Harden's 43.6%. But Harden is a better three-point shooter, but that's because he takes so many threes.
Yeah, he takes so many threes.
His percentage is 35.8. Giannis is 24.9.
Exactly.
And James Harden, he gets always like those 3-point foul shots.
Yeah, yes.
All the time.
Oh, yeah, all the time. Yeah.
But for me, I think James Harden is gonna win it.
Yeah.
I think he is too, just because of that insane 30-plus scoring streak.
If they're playing in the same position and played the same game, I give it to Giannis.
Yeah,
I feel like if they both played in the same like style of offense,
Harden wouldn't try.
Because here's why Harden's like point numbers are like so inflated, is because Chris Paul, and someone else got hurt on the Rockets, so he was the offense.
Yeah, but I think, like you said, if they were playing the same style of play offensively, the guy that had the winning record would win the MVP.
Yeah,
Well, we'll see what happens.
I'm gonna pick Harden. I'm picking Harden to win it.
Harden? Okay.
Yeah.
He has more points per game, but
But do you think is there anybody else that other than Harden and Giannis you think?
I feel like dark horse. So like dark horse MVP.
Kevin Durant.
No, he's been injured and
Yeah.
Oh, I would put as my. I would honestly pick Paul George as my dark horse MVP.
Yeah.
Just because he's averaging 28 points a night, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 44% shooting, field goal, 38.93. What else? 83.53 free throw percentage. So he's also a very good defender. So I feel he can win MVP as well as he could also separately win Defensive Player of the Year.
Back to your point, Scott. I think Giannis is a pretty efficient player, but like he doesn't shoot.
I didn't say he wasn't efficient. I didn't say he wasn't efficient.
Like you see him play, this guy's a beast. But you don't see him like shoot a lot of threes. But if he shoots like more 3 points, I think he would be like the MVP player.
I feel if we just like started jacking up threes like Harden,
Yeah.
he'd definitely be MVP.
Not as much as Harden. Doesn't have to be as much. Doesn't have to shoot as much as Harden. But like if he shoots like a lot of
As
threes,
effectively.
yeah,
Well, just here's the thing with Harden that like you can kind of like skew these percentages is that there will be nights where he's like 13 of 13, and there will be nights where he's like 1 of like 10, and he'll still just throw up the three. Like
yeah,
so, he has his good days and his bad days.
yeah.
so. So I have another. If Kawhi played in every game, he would be like a part of being MVP.
Yeah, if he didn't like need to rest as much, I feel he definitely would be in the discussion.
Because other than these three players, man, there's no like in the East. There's like maybe Joel Embiid as an MVP candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Out of the
Okay,
East.
here's the thing with Embiid. He's huge, and he can do everything. He can shoot the three, he can shoot, he can dunk, he can doodle, he can lay up, he can assist. He can play good defense. Like,
Giannis is almost 7 foot tall.
6'11", actually, according to this. But
Yeah, no, he's
still
one.
pretty.
He's 7 foot.
Yeah, bro. Paul George is 6'9".
Who?
Paul George is 6'9".
And Harden is 6'5", and
Wow.
Kawhi is 6'7".
Yeah, James is 6'5". Yeah.
And
Just 6'5".
I think
Just that does not sound right when you say, yeah, he's just 6'5". Like it's pretty damn tall.
But would height be a factor though? And
Not an MVP.
for MVP, like,
Isaiah Thomas is never winning the MVP,
because he always gets traded.
and he's like 5'5", man.
True. I think height does have a factor, but it's not the only thing that determines MVP, you know? So
So let's
I
move
don't
on.
think height has ever determined the MVP.
well, yeah, factors too, but like I'm saying, like Isaiah Thomas compared with Giannis, you know, Giannis is gonna, you know, because he's taller and
He's gonna jump over his
he has
head.
more attributes, you know.
So moving on, are the bench players in the NBA underrated?
I feel a bench is what can ultimately decide if you win close games.
Yeah, I think it's
Because the reason the Warriors were really good before KD and even after is because they had an amazing bench.
Oh,
And because of that, even when the stars weren't on, they were still able to put up a lot of points and ultimately defend. So
Yeah,
they are underrated because they are one of the most important aspects of the team, I believe. The team's
yeah.
bench.
A lot of teams don't even use like a full man rotation. They probably use like 3, 4, maybe 3 extra guys.
Yeah, but still.
Because there's some really good players on
Like if you take OKC, they probably only use Grant if he's not starting, Jordan Schroeder, Nerlens Noel, and that's it. But there's a lot of teams that use their whole bench.
Well, it's because they probably have a pretty good bench, or at least a very decent bench.
But who do you think will win the 6-man? Derrick Rose or Lou Williams?
Derrick Rose. Derrick Rose.
Derrick Rose. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Rose went from 8 points a game to like 18.
True.
So next,
I just want to point out something. The Lakers and the Nets are playing right now, and if D'Angelo Russell, who used to be on Lakers, I'm going to trade. If the Nets win, the Lakers would be like officially mathematically eliminated from play. They're not officially eliminated yet, but they're basically eliminated.
From the playoffs? Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like they're not officially, but we all know they're not making it.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No matter how.
Right now there's 6-ish minutes left in the quarter, and it is 13-12 for the Lakers.
Oh, okay. They were close with the Nets? What?
Pardon?
They were close with the Nets? It's a close game, huh?
it's only the first
In
quarter.
the first quarter.
Oh, man.
In the first quarter.
We'll
Like, I don't know how much you can make that.
up somehow.
Yeah, we have to wait and see.
We'll see, yeah. But on to the next topic.
So, do you think the superstars joining super teams is worse than an all-star joining superstar team?
What's the difference between superstars and all-stars? Like, what's
Superstar.
your definition?
So I'll give you players that are in it. So superstar is like players that can go off on any night, like the James Harden.
Like Harden, LeBron, Curry, Durant, like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, but they're also all-stars.
and all stars is like
That's what I mean. Like, superstars fall under that all-star category. Because of how
kind
good
of,
they are.
but like if you look at DeRozan's he's not a superstar, he's an all-star.
What about Anthony Davis?
All those guys, man, Anthony Davis is a superstar, but like
Okay.
So what's the difference, though?
Yeah,
That's true.
So a superstar is
Honestly,
a all-around player, like,
is he like
he does like
Chris Paul is not a superstar anymore, he's an all-star.
someone that shines.
alright, that's fair.
And man, a superstar is like this guy will fill up the stat sheet.
Oh, okay.
Man, DeRozan didn't fill up shit in the playoffs.
I think for me, I think superstars joining super teams is worse for sure. Because superstar can do everything. They kill the stats.
They don't need a super team.
Yeah, they don't need super team at all because they're superstar, right? They kill all the stats. They have more points per
Like
game.
Kyrie Irving
More rebounds.
he is now a superstar. Kyrie is.
Yeah.
He's now, according to you. According to you.
Yeah, it's
According to me, yeah.
he's like middle of the road. But like, what other player? But Jokic is a superstar. But the top superstars are like the Currys, the KDs, the Hardens, the Brons, and that's it. But like the Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, those are all stars. They're not superstars yet.
Okay.
But like superstar, they don't need a super team. like LeBron's, the KDs, the Anthony.
15 right now. I'm just going to keep giving updates on the Lakers game.
All right. So I think it's worse, but like in All-Star, you're not superstar. Like you're not very good, but you can pair up with other All-Stars, so you can become a superstar.
Why is it bad for superstars to?
17-15 Lakers.
Because man,
It's going to be unfair for the NBA, man.
Yeah,
How
but-
are they going to cope against that team? Let's say Kyrie Irving joins the Warriors. It's not fair, man. They already have five. They already have 5 All-Stars.
yeah, but Klay Thompson.
Like, you don't need them all. Just stop.
But Klay Thompson is a free agent, yes.
Here's the thing. Here's the one good thing about it is that the salary cap is just going to cause them to just fall apart.
So the team
You
will
never know.
dominate all the way.
Exactly.
No.
If Kyrie goes into, it's over. It's game over. Like the NBA is ruined.
Won't be interesting.
It won't be interesting. Yeah, the Warriors are gonna sweep everybody.
The Warriors ruined the NBA.
Exactly. The Warriors ruined the NBA.
Here's
That-
the thing. Here's the one thing is that the salary cap is going to ruin the Warriors.
Yeah, the new one that's coming up.
Oh yeah.
But they're gonna sign trash-ass players to big contracts. Remember Mike Conley signed like at that time it was a record, like he signed I think it was $100 million contract. And Conley's not a superstar.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, okay.
In Joseph's opinion,
Well, you think Michael Conley's a superstar?
I mean, he's not a freaking trash player. Not like J.R. Smith, but
Leave J.R. Smith alone, man.
I feel bad for J.R. Smith. No one's going to let him forget that.
oh
Man, that's
It was
unforgivable.
hilarious.
lose game one,
Everything that like happened after was hilarious.
52 points.
Yeah.
52, 8, and 8.
Come on, man. LeBron was too tired.
Oh my god.
Come on.
Oh my god.
We should call this podcast and this episode called The World
Giving on J.R. Smith.
NBA.
Exactly. But moving on.
So, last thing of the NBA.
Who are the best defenders in today's NBA, and would they be able to guard old era top players?
There's only
But here's the thing: you can't really make the comparison and question if they would be able to guard them because it was a completely different game.
That is true.
true, but let's just let's say the real
Argument's sake,
the real top defenders.
Draymond Green. That's for me number one. He won Best Defensive Player of the Year last year. Come on, man. He's one of the best defenders in today's NBA.
Okay, so this year NBA, we'll do our opinion. So I got Kawhi Leonard, Rudy
he's going to say this right now. Lonzo Ball, while he might not be the best defender in the league, he's damn good at defense.
Yes, you're right. Okay, so I'll give my guys. I got Kawhi Leonard, Rudy Gobert, Paul George, Russell Westbrook, and Chris Paul. What about you, Hank?
No, let's go over Henry first.
All right, for me, I think it's number one is Draymond Green. This guy won Defensive Player of the Year. He can guard anybody, like literally, and just stop them. I'm thinking I agree with Joseph with Kawhi Leonard. This guy, he's a really good defensive player. Like he's got big palms, big hands. He can guard anybody, And Giannis, bro, this guy, he can defend very well. He's very tall. And bro, he can block anybody, man. He's like what, 6'9"?
He can just pick a fight with anyone and automatically.
Exactly. He's a really good defensive. He's a really good defender, So, and I think Paul George as well, and who else would I say? Maybe Kyrie Irving. Kyrie's a good defender. For sure.
What?
For sure, Kyrie. Come on, man.
Yo,
I think Kyrie's a good
did you put drugs in your spray or something? Are you kidding?
Was there coffee spike this morning? Like, what? Legitimate question.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking Kyrie, man. Come on, with his not like defending other players, but I'm saying defending his position. You know what I'm saying?
Like
His
not
position.
overall
Not
defense, but like defending against other players who play his position.
No, he cannot defend other players. No way, man. He's too short.
Sure.
There's no way. But in his position, yes, for sure.
Is that why?
This guy guarded Stephen Curry.
Yeah, but is that why Curry averaged 28 points per game and like 53% shooting from 3?
It's still, that's my opinion. Okay.
What about you?
Don't have to agree with
What about you, Scott? Give me your top 5 defenders.
Okay, well, this is like not in any particular order, but I would have to say Kawhi, Giannis. Joel Embiid is actually a very good defender. I'm not sure if he may be around my top 5. Well, no, because here's the thing, he's so huge. He's a very good defender in that way.
No.
Paul George,
Yeah.
very good defender in OKC, and I'm not too sure who I'd put as my 5th.
Yeah. Like all I have right now in my head is just Paul George, Giannis,
Paul George.
and just Kawhi Leonard. And that's it. Just 2 others are,
Mm.
I don't have anyone else.
All right.
Let's move on to the real shit.
The real shit.
NFL.
Is Sean not here?
No.
He's not.
Damn it, you would have loved this one. You would have loved it. Guarantee you.
True. So, who got worse, Steelers or Giants? What do you think?
Let him finish the question.
Yeah, that's the question. Who got worse, Steelers or Giants? That's the first question.
If we're talking about this one off season, here's the thing: the Giants have been building to this point for a couple off seasons now.
Yeah.
So if we're judging an individual off season, I would have to say probably the Steelers.
Okay.
But who had a worse off season? Probably the Steelers. But who's the better team? It's still the Steelers. You don't know why I'm saying that? Because the Steelers, in their division, they have the best owner, the best quarterback, arguably the best coach. Arguably, I'd take Tomlin over Harbaugh any day. I'd definitely take him over whoever the hell the Bengals and Browns signed. And they have the best offensive line, arguably, in the league. They have a very good defense, led the NFL in sacks last year. The secondary is getting much better, and they made some good signings to help with inside linebacker. So I would definitely say the Steelers are the better team, but they arguably had the worst offseason.
Okay. What about you, Joseph? What do you think?
Well, we'll get back to this. I just have a fact here. So the last 2 Heisman Trophy winners from Cleveland turned an 0-16 team to a 7-8-1 team, and I think if they
I'm sorry, that was not just Baker Mayfield. That was with all the offseason moves they made, obviously acquiring Jarvis Landry, and they also did a very good job in the draft.
So do you think Rattler's gonna win the job over Hurts?
Pardon?
I was thinking about the Oklahoma Sooners, because that's where he played.
I feel Jalen Hurts will be the starter. Because if he wasn't going to be, I don't see why he would have transferred to Oklahoma.
Yeah, but for Steelers and Giants, I think
I'm praying the Giants beat the Cowboys next year.
we'll be alright.
I don't.
I'm talking about the
I don't.
Cowboys.
Cowboys. The team that hasn't been to a championship game since the 20th century.
Because Tony Romo was injured.
The team that hasn't even won like the divisional round playoff game. The team that really is just a terrible. They don't have that good ownership. Here's the thing: Jerry Jones isn't the smartest owner.
I would agree on that.
He's Hall of Fame, but that doesn't change anything.
I would agree on that. And you know how I like the Cowboys.
Because Tony Romo's girlfriends.
But I think the Giants got even worse because they traded their probably like franchise wide receiver.
Yeah, but they got good compensation. They got better compensation for it than the Steelers did for Antonio Brown.
True. But I think Giants are going to fall hard if they keep Eli Manning.
Well, they are keeping. They are full tanking for Tua. They're tanking for Tua. Tanking for Tua, taking for Trevor. Here's the thing with like the Cleveland Browns tanking strategy that doesn't necessarily work for a lot of teams is because they get like 8 games into it, and then there's like, oh shit, we have to start winning games or else somebody's going to get fired. And then they win games, and then they get like a draft pick later than like 10th or 5 or 10. And then it's like, well, what was that for? Like, so tanking isn't art.
And so do you think Steelers replacing AB and Le'Veon Bell with James Conner and Juju?
I didn't hear the last part of the question, sorry.
So do you think it's a good upgrade from AB to Juju and Le'Veon Bell to James Conner?
I wouldn't necessarily call an upgrade, but I would definitely say the Steelers they'll be fine.
And man, I get annoyed sometimes when I hear that because yes, Juju Smith-Schuster is a great wide receiver, but if it wasn't for AB, who helped him minimize the hard work, because everyone was putting on the pressure on Antonio Brown since he was the best player on the wide receiver position.
I feel, I'm just going to say this right now, this year this is Roethlisberger's prove it year. Just like, prove you're not the issue here.
What?
One more thing that I think we're going to talk about is Dez Bryant is still a free agent. Should the Steelers consider signing him? You are joking, but in the list you said Hall of Fame wide receiver. He is in no way would ever be a Hall of Famer. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's fake news.
But Dez Bryant is like Dez Bryant is like famous, you know, just like OBJ. All he was doing was like being famous. He wasn't doing shit, man. I'm sorry.
He doesn't do anything when he like tears his Achilles.
Okay, there you go.
Because remember Dez Bryant, where OBJ, he kept like dropping the ball, and then he was blaming it on the net. You know, that practice net. So OBJ is overrated, man. I never liked him.
It's always someone else's fault.
Odell Beckham Jr.
He's overrated.
Did you say kicking that, which was hilarious, but still.
But I rather sign Dez Bryant than OBJ.
Really? Would you rather sell?
That's because you're a Cowboys fan.
Really?
No, it's just that I'm just a National Football League fan. I take Dez. Same thing. I take Tony
If you
Romo.
were smart, you would take Odell over Dez. Odell is a much better receiver than Dez.
I take Tony Glass Romo over fat ass Ben Roethlisberger.
Oh man, this guy's. He took some pills this morning, man. No way, man.
Big Ben is the reason AB went out. Big Ben is the reason the coach is on a thin line.
What do you think, Scott?
About what, Ben being the reason why Tomlin is under pressure?
Yes.
I would argue yes, but that's not because of his play.
Yeah.
That's because of what he does off the field. In the sense where he can go on his radio show and just call out a bunch of teammates, and that's just okay. I feel that's the issue here. And not the fact that Ben's a bad player, because he's still an elite quarterback.
Yeah. So let's move on to the next topic.
Much better than Dak Prescott.
So I'm gonna ask you guys 2 questions, and all you guys have to say either yes or no. So, Scott, are the Colts a contender?
Yes.
Why?
Because Andrew Luck is a very good quarterback, and you saw how they made it. Now, granted, they lost to the Chiefs in a big way. They lost by a lot, but they're still a very good team. They're a much better team. And they have the 3 things a football team needs. Quarterback, offensive line to protect the quarterback, and then people to go get the other team's quarterback by signing Justin Houston in free agency, a good pass rusher.
But do you think they would make the finals?
I feel they can definitely make a deep playoff run.
Yeah.
Yep.
Would there be
I
a top?
definitely feel like within the next 10 years they'll be a very good football team.
Okay. And there's another question: is KC have a chance to beat NE?
New England.
New England, yes.
So I think Colts have a chance to make the playoffs, but I don't think. I don't.
Win it, no.
They're
I
making
think-
the playoffs.
They will make playoffs, but I don't think
They're
they
making the playoffs.
for sure. But
They will make it to the divisional round, I feel, depending on who they play.
how are they going to face the Patriots, man? Come on, Tom Brady, man. This guy has what? How many rings now? So
He's 42.
I still.
But Andrew Luck.
If you look to the latter part of the year, he wasn't playing that well. Because you also got D Ford is
like a truck.
is 5 feet further back away from the Patriots' offensive line. That's over. Chiefs are going to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, you have a point. Yeah.
And I think KC, if they make the playoffs, they still have a chance to beat New England.
They're not beating New England. Because here's the thing. They traded away D Ford. They lost Justin Houston to free agency. They lost Eric Berry. And the Kareem Hunt law. And first off, their offensive line is weaker because of their center signed with Buffalo. And then, depending on how this whole Tyreek Hill legal situation goes, Sammy Watkins might be the number 1 receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
KC's a much worse team.
That's what I'm saying. I'm nervous for them to, I have a thought that they'll probably miss the playoffs.
I wouldn't say they'll miss the playoffs, but they definitely won't, be a number 1 seed.
But
Because they don't have a strong defense.
yeah, but they
They never had a good defense. Let's be real, they didn't. They just had a lot of sacks because they always played with a lead that forced the other team to pass.
Okay, I see. Makes sense.
no, but they still have one of the best up and coming quarterbacks in the league.
That they do, but still. Takes more than a quarterback, just ask John Elway.
Or should we ask Robert Kraft?
I don't think you ask him about quarterbacks, you ask him about other things.
And we know what that is.
We don't have to talk about it, but we do. We all know it. I'm pretty sure the entire world knows what that is.
So I'll ask all you guys. As you guys all know, late this generation, NFL athletes pursue money over rings.
Yeah.
And it's pissing me off, man.
So should NFL players pursue money over rings?
No, obviously not.
Why are you in the NFL anyways if you want to pursue money?
No, you gotta pursue rings. Like you have to
to
show
get
that
the
you're
money.
actually
Yeah, but some people are.
Yeah, but
a
the
great
rings-
contender.
Legacy.
Legacy
Legacy,
over
yeah.
over funds, money.
no funds available.
Yeah, they're broke.
Yeah,
For sure, they should pursue rings over money.
Obviously.
But if they can't get the rings, then they should go over money than rings.
Or just find another way to make money.
Or just the NFL's paying them a
Be a
lot.
rapper like Le'Veon Bell and Cole Beasley.
chill, man.
But yeah, they should pursue rings over money for sure.
Absolutely.
You think I'm joking, but Cole Beasley is actually like a rapper. He actually has like an album on Spotify. It's pretty bad, but still.
I never heard him, so he must be horrible.
I'd advise him. I'd advise.
Is he better than Victor Oladipo?
Search for his album.
Is he better than Victor Oladipo?
He's white, so probably not.
Okay.
So this is so let's move on to the college basketball. There's been a lot of upsets tonight. Wisconsin's
I
gone.
didn't make a bracket because I knew for a fact it was going to get destroyed day one.
Yeah, and did you know that 83% of people's brackets after tonight?
Destroyed.
Yeah, man.
Jeez.
Marquette is out. Wisconsin is out.
Go March Madness for a reason.
Yeah.
But we all know who's gonna play in the finals. There's Duke, UNC, and Gonzaga.
Well, here's the thing, though. I feel there is a chance Duke doesn't make the finals. And that's just because of the fact that there could be a good upset. Because what was the team? Was it North Carolina who beat them both times? Which team was it that beat Duke twice without Zion? And then we're pretty damn close with Zion.
No, but UNC beat them already, and it was a blowout. But Zion was
I think
playing,
it's UNC. Is it UNC?
and then the next time they faced, Zion got the game winner.
Yeah, but they were pretty close to beating them with Zion.
Yeah.
So I feel UNC can definitely pull an upset. That's
So, but who you think? Who you think's gonna go first overall? You think it'll still be Zion?
yes, just because of that sheer size and athleticism.
Oh yeah, man. Zion's deadly assassin.
Picking for Zion. That's what every team's trying to do.
But I think Zion's kind of overrated. A little bit, because a lot of people saying Zion's going to make it, like he's going to score a lot of points. But I feel like he's overrated, man, to be honest.
That's fair.
Yeah. So everybody just keeps talking about how he's really good and stuff like that.
Second quarter, 6 minutes, it's tied 31-31.
So, going back to the NBA,
I don't have a game.
do you think the Lakers made a huge mistake trading Julius Randle, D'Angelo Russell?
Well, if D'Angelo Russell beats them tonight, that'd be funny. But with whatever it was because I don't know what D'Angelo Russell did to get traded. But it wasn't because of his playing that. It wasn't because of his playing ability. It was because of what he did. So when he does something like that, it's just like you have to go.
He snitched on Swaggy Pete because
That's what it was.
Nick Young was dating Iggy.
Azalea?
Yeah, and then D'Angelo Russell saw Nick Young cheating with another girl, so he snitched.
Mm-hmm. And then he posted on like Instagram or something.
Yeah, he was like a teenager, man.
Yeah, when you do that, you gotta go.
And probably Kobe went to a Genie Bus. Bye-bye.
Yeah, man.
But thanks for tuning in, guys. Don't forget to check our website at sb3sportspodcast.com. Check our IG, Facebook, Twitter, and everywhere where you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Google Play, Deezer, TuneIn Radio, Virgin Radio, YouTube. Yeah, check our YouTube. Subscribe, share, like. And if you guys know sports, you want to come in as a guest, send us an email at dj_joseph@sb3sportspodcast.com.
I'm cutting in and out, so this doesn't make it. There we go.
So, DJ Joe signing out.
Henry signing out. Mike Drop signing out.
Scotty signing out.
All right, have a good weekend. And don't forget to subscribe to Step Back 3 Sports Podcast.